Last time out, I forgot to show the youth intake preview because I was so excited about how well we're doing and the fact we got a new head of youth development, which I'm sure you can understand why this might have slipped my mind. Today, we're going to go over the youth intake that's arriving, and we're going to go to the end of the season to see if we're able to hold on to a 9-point lead at the top with our last 15 games of the season. Did we win the league after having a 9-point lead going into the winter break, or did we bottle it? Let's find out. So first things first, we are going to talk about the games we've had since we last met, because we've got the youth intake, we're hoping to have a good time, and we drew the first 2 games against Pogon and Lecce Poznan, 2 games I expected to be struggling against. We then won against YLAB Block, before we could only draw 1-0 against LSK Lodz, who we managed to lose against it at the beginning of the season, or one of the early games, our only defeat so far, before we drew a next 2 games against Legia Warsaw and Wisla Krakow. But honestly, through those games to get points in, I'm happy with this. The other 2 games we drew, not so happy about, because we should be beating teams in the lower part of the table, and hopefully we can do better in the future. But after 25 games, we've got an 8-point lead at the top still, with 9 games to go. I'm hoping we can win the title still. We're not in the next round of the cup. We've got a youth intake that's just arrived, and I like to think that despite everything, we can still win the league title. 9 games left, 8-point lead. Surely, we can't blow it from here, despite the fact we've drawn almost as many games as we've won. We've got an 8-point lead at the top, for goodness sake. We can't blow this, surely. But this is our youth intake, and I like to think it's a promising one. We're going to go over all the players that have got 4-star potential ability or higher and go from there. The first player to talk about is Kamel Pietron, who I think could be really good. He's inconsistent, so that's an issue, but he could be a striker, he could be an inverted wing on the left, and he could be a wing on the right, so options are there. Admittedly, he's only reasonable with his left foot, so I'm probably going to throw him on the left-hand side if I was going to use in the wings, or up front as an advanced forward. So he's got the ability to do both, but can he do it? Okay, so the next player to talk about is Jan Debiek, who is very inconsistent, and you're saying 1-star current ability. I'm going from potential ability order, not from current ability order, so that's why it's the thing. He's got a balanced personality, but it's not really a playmaker, which is what I want for my players. He can lead, but other than that, it's not really that great, is he? He needs a lot of work to get to the potential he apparently has. So we got a new goalkeeper who is someone with low determination, which is not ideal, and is inconsistent, which I don't know why that's a problem for us, but he is someone with good reflexes and is able to do really well with the handling as well, so someone we can definitely rely on in that regard, and swimming keeping support is what we would use him as. He's got low composure and low anticipation. His one-on-ones aren't great, neither is his rushing out tendency, but he's okay. He's got great potential. If he can improve on a few things, he could be a starter for us in the long term. This guy might be my favourite of the bunch though. He's 6'3", and Leca could be quite good. He is consistent as well. He has a second nationality of Polish, which is great. And I like to think that his fairly professional personality and reserved media handling style could be beneficial for us long term. He can play in multiple positions, so he can definitely play on the right-hand side of the fullback position, which I'm never going to use him in, to be completely honest with you. But centre-back, absolutely could use him there. He's got the jumping reach, he's got the... Well, he hasn't got the heading I'm looking for, but needs to work on his strength and his marking and positioning and heading, but tackling a 15 could be quite good. And then we've got Jacob Nowak, who is outspoken, but balanced personality, inconsistent again, has some acceleration and pace, so he's definitely one of those players that is actually more inverted than anything else, so he'll definitely fit in my idea, what I want, but inconsistent. He just needs a bit of work, and if we can get him to be better and better, I'll be much more content than what I have right now. He just needs to work on a few things, and he'll be fine. We've got a second striker now in Christian Senzik, and inconsistent again. Balanced personality, media friendly this time, but has pace, has acceleration, good first touch, and we can work on a few things like his composure and his balance, and maybe he could do better, but who knows? Just, he needs work. The last person I'm going to talk about is Janis Baran, and he's consistent this time. He's got low determination again, which, given he's got balanced personality, is a bit of a shock to me. And he's okay with his bravery, his aggression's good. He needs to work on his heading, his marking, his positioning, his strength and jumping reach for us to really take him seriously. But he's got potential to be a 4-star kind of busy player, so maybe we can work from that. But let's go to the end of the season and see if we held on to our lead at the very top of the table, despite the fact we've only won once. We haven't lost any games so far, so let's see how we got on to the end of the season. So we are back. We won our first game after the youth had taken by 3 goals today, and I was thinking, this is a good time. Then we lost the next 2 games, and panic starts to set me a little bit, I'm not going to lie, because we lost them by both 1 goal to 0 against teams I really thought we should be beating. We then beat Arca 2-0, and I'm thinking, okay, that's better. Then we lost again, meaning we've lost 3 times in the month of April, and then we draw 0-0 against Water Poznan, which set off more alarm bells than I'd like to admit, especially after we lose by 4 goals to 2 in the next game. So I'm thinking to myself, there's no way I could blow this. This is one of the worst runs of form I've ever had in this part of the season. And yet here we are, panicking a lot more than I want to admit. Then we won the next game against Cracovia, and we kind of take them out of the title race. And I'm thinking, we have a chance. Then we lose 3-1 to Slas for the last game of the season. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think I've panicked any more than this because of one reason and one reason alone. We only finished in 2nd place. Yeah, this is actually a thing that's happened. I've actually managed to blow an 8-point lead with 9 games to go. We have been absolutely terrible since the winter break and picked up just 18 points in the last 15 matches. And I cannot explain why that's happened. How we lost 5 of the last 9 matches, I'll never know. But it's happened, and we only finished in 2nd place despite leading for most of the season. And I can just show you this. Past positions, Lecce Gazans, and Pagon. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, top 4. I don't think any of those teams you'd expect to win the title, apart from maybe Pagon. But we've now got 3 different winners in the last 3 years, and we were top for more than half the season. Match day 16 until match day 33, we were top for half the season. And then we dropped down to 2nd the last day of the season, and Lecce Gazans go top of the table for the very first time on the last day of the season. I've never done this before. I've never blown it so hard as I have here, but yes, yeah, that's a problem. At least we're in the Champions League, I suppose. Does not make me feel any better, though. Especially with Slas winning the cup as well for the first time, so there's that. And they beat us on the last day of the year, and we were drawing 1-1, went down to 10 men due to an injury, and then lost it. So, yeah, even a draw wouldn't have been enough, so we actually needed to win that game. And for some reason, my team just decided to implode. And I cannot explain it to you. I cannot explain it to you how we've blown this. We're still getting confettis falling to the ground because despite everything, we were not expected to win the league. The board only wanted the mid-table finish, and as far as they're concerned, this is still a good season. So yes, we sold some players, and that's happened. I can't believe we're even talking about this as if the thing I could celebrate, but it did happen. And Kosek got 14 assists apparently in the new club. I think it's for the B team or the 2nd team, so that's a thing that's happened. You know what I also did? I might have sent Jasinski out to a loan spell to Olympica, and I might have cost myself a few things because we also sent Kabulka out there because both players weren't first team football. I couldn't guarantee it, so I sent them out on loan, and I think that might have cost me because without my 2nd choice striker, when my 1st choice striker was starting to struggle, we did not have anyone around, so that's a problem. I can't even explain how bad we did here, but it happened, and hopefully more can happen either way next year. Still 2nd place. Mid-table finish expected. It's just when I have this sort of start, I just look at it and think, well, this is great. And then we just go this long without losing from October until April. I genuinely thought for one point we could break the record for most unbeaten run, and then we just lose, win, lose, draw, lose, win, lose. If I don't lose those games, I'm champion. There's no question about it. And we only got to the 3rd round of the cup. Lecce Gdansk, of all teams, knocked us out. So the team who took the title from me knocked me out of the cup. We drew against them the first game of the season. And I think we even beat them. Yeah, we beat them again in the 2nd game. So we knew we could beat them. But why we couldn't do it against anyone else, I don't know. Remember 4-0 win was the biggest win of the season. They had a man sent off inside 4 minutes, so I don't care about that. Kavia, we beat them 2-0 away from home. And then Kotko's goal against Lego Warsaw to rescue us a point was the goal of the season. Let's talk about it. But yeah, this was the goal of the season, and I remember this quite well because it was actually a very nice situation. He goes from goal from there, he shoots and scores, it's a good finish, and it rescues us a point. And again, I genuinely think we didn't deserve anything of, but we did anyway, and that was nice. Finances, we've been losing money this year, a lot. We are making 1.15 million from the merchandise, which is great, and we sold about 7,348 shirts. Kowalski, Supreme, Chicheki, Polak, and Kosek are all top shirt sellers. All of those players have come from my academy, so it tells me that we are doing something right in that regard. Hopefully, we're not going to lose more money going forward. How we learned it was this, and yes, much better than last year. We had several players with a 7.0 rating or more. Silka, I might have dropped for the last 2 games of the season because I just was frustrated with how he did in one of the games, and I gave a debut to a 17-year-old who has better potential as Silka. But yeah, Kowalski, Supreme, Kosek, Chicheki, Bolak, Marcel, and Suruki all getting a 7.0 rating or more. And Chicheki was the fans, player, and young player of the season. Kotko was the goal of the season. Kowalski with 20 goals. He got injured actually in the last couple of games, so we actually were missing him for a bit. We got manager of the month for 2 straight months at one point. Bolak got 8 assists. Kowalski got 4 player of the match awards. Chicheki with the most. Chicheki with the highest average rating of 7.2. Chichoki made 108 passes per 90 minutes. Has made 396 appearances in the league, and Kowalski's now got 92 goals in the league, so it's 8 goals away from 100 league goals for us. History in the making, most of the Lublin started better than anyone could have expected, and continuing that vein, storming all the way to such an impressive finish. I'm going to say so now, we bottled this, I think, and I'm not happy about it at all. And now we're here, looking at the season, and I'm thinking, well, what can I do at this point? We have dropped a lot of points that I should be doing better and better. And actually, in this situation here, we produced an entire starting 11 of homegrown products in a match against Arca. I didn't realize I did this in October, but I did apparently. So that's the first time we've ever done this. So what class it is, I don't know, but entirely homegrown team for the first ever time, which is promising to say the least. That's the only positive I could take. But yeah, Suruki also got in the next Gen Awards, so that's a thing I should probably talk about here. The fact it's been brought up is good, and he got 20-something? I think it was something like that. I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but he got in that list. But yeah, also Silka got the best goalkeeper of the season. I don't know how he did that, but he did. And apparently Chichoku got the young player of the season as well, so I'm just a little bemused by this. I really am. But looking at the start of 2024, the fact we've only got, 4 players still here from that season is saying a lot. And the fact that we've got 7 retired players now and other players elsewhere is interesting. But yeah, it's interesting to see where people have gone from this point in time, honestly. Supporter profile, we actually made 86.6 extra followers in social media now. 50% is now fair weather, 33% is core, 21% is family, and it's getting better and better. And the fact we're developing players using the club use system is good. And the fans are on board with it, they really are. And looking at the club vision expectations meeting, they still only want a mid-tier finish. And I think, for me, it sums up just where we are. We're not really in that stride yet. Despite winning 2 straight league titles at one point, we're not really in that bracket of a top-flight, championship-chasing season team. And I don't know, it's just one of those things where they still only want a mid-tier finish. But they also want me to challenge for the cup at one point. So I think that has to be an aim at some point, is to win that cup in the near future, because I want that more than anything else at this point, because it's the one thing I've not won in the save. And if I do get that, I've got every single trophy in this country. And for me, that's more important than anything else. But I will say this here now, the fact we've now got more strength than weaknesses is a good sign. And it tells me that we are slowly but surely getting there. We just need to do more and more right now and hope that we can do better and better. Also, that player struggling to perform, he's not even at the club, so it's fine for now. But we've got strength, we've got an idea what we want to do, and we just need to do better and better going forward. And hopefully, we can do that going forward. So, slight problem. We've actually had our facilities downgraded due to technological advances. However, the board didn't even need convincing about this. I just asked to get this approved to build them back up, and they said, yes, okay, we'll spend 1 million on it. So happy days. We're not struggling in that regards. Also, Euros have been announced, and one of our forward players is actually announced for the role. So Matthias Sulek is going to be there as the left back. Admittedly, I don't think he's really improved that much, but he's also only playing for the second team in the third tier, and I don't think has been getting a lot of football for Bayern Munich's first team. So without that, I think he's going to struggle to improve as much as I hope he would. But I like to keep an eye on him because I like keeping an eye on my former players, because, you know, why wouldn't I do that? Eh? In other news, Dabrowski hasn't really been out on loan this year. He actually got 4 appearances in the Premier League and a cup appearance as well in the FA Cup. And he got an assist for Manchester United, so he's actually done something there. Issue is, I don't think he's getting a lot of game time, and I don't think his development's really hitting off either, so I think he might be struggling a bit more to do more and more. But yes, as I was referring to, Slash actually did end up getting the final. They only just won it on penalties, and I'm just going to show this. They scored the 120th minute to take it to penalties with a penalty, and then won on penalties. It was interesting to say the least. I also hadn't only just noticed this. Their opponents missed a penalty in the 94th minute in normal time, and then they lost. Oh, that sums it up, doesn't it? They missed a penalty in normal time. They scored a penalty in extra time, and they conceded a penalty in extra time, and then they lose on penalties. It's literally a story of penalties in this game, and I'm a little startled by how close it was cut in the end. It really was very close to Slask. They should have lost this game potentially. I'm also looking at the Super Cup, and Pagon actually won it for the second year running, so congratulations to them. They've done what I could never do and actually win 2 Super Cups in a row, which is annoying because I want to win this again at some point because I like winning trophies. I want every trophy in the collection. I want to win all 3 domestic trophies in 1 year, one day, and that's a dream for me. But we have seen 3 teams going up, and Brookbeck are champions. One of my players is actually out on loan to them, and one of my affiliates went down. So Ardua Pearl went down despite having a load of players out on loan to them. Pagon survived. Roche and Kubica go up, so there's that. We're now going to talk about Europe, and Dynamo Kyiv lost 3-1 to Leeds in extra time in the Europa Conference League final. So Leeds did themselves okay. I just wish we did more to get a team in our country in this final one day. I really did. Newcastle lost 3-2 in the Europa League final. Newcastle losing again. Tottenham winning their second Europa League final in 3 years. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, really. Liverpool beat Inter Milan in the Champions League final, which meant that we could have had 2 different Italian teams win the Champions League in consecutive years. And then Liverpool ruined it for us. Oh, I just realised who's actually playing here. Lorenzo Luca's playing for Inter Milan. Does he look good? I don't know if he looks good or not, but he apparently actually ended up going back to Pisa at one point, so that's interesting. But he's back in Italy. He's staying in Italy, and Udinese had him for a couple of years, so at least he's still doing okay. 6'7" striker. I would like to have that kind of player on my team one day. So this is the end of the season. Things could have gone better for us. We could have won the league title for the 3rd time in 4 years, but we didn't, so that's awkward. But we've been at the club for 9 seasons now, but the save's been good over 10 seasons since we simulated the first season to get this team. So I'm thinking about showing what's happened around the entirety of the playable leagues since we last met. And the playable leagues in the save are in Belgium, Czech Republic, England, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Slovakia, Spain, and Ukraine. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments down below if you want to see that kind of video. I already put a poll in the community tab, and people seem to want it, so I'll probably make that video in the next few days. But either way, I am going to end this here. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. I hope you guys like and share this video, and subscribe to the channel. How badly do you think this ranks in a bottle for blowing away the title? And do you think next season we can win the league title again? I want to win it for the 3rd time to say, but I kind of lost confidence in the team halfway through the season, and that's a concern. But either way, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.